This is my favorite opening range breakout strategy that we take each and every day on our live streams, and they're not always going to win. You saw an example of that today, which we'll go over, but I have to be involved and just play the probabilities out. I think this is just too clean to pass up. Let's look at the 15-minute on the left side here and the 1 minute on our right. You can see the 15-minute opening range was set and broken to the upside, right? I teach in my strategy not to chase the first one because they often don't run, and we'll look at some examples of that because they don't often run, right? I'm looking into it more of how we could try to determine which days are more likely to break the first time, but as of right now, I don't have an answer for that. But you can get maybe a nice 10 points out of that one. That could be the winning move there. But that's fine. Let it pull back. It retests the New York VWAP here and the opening range high super well, and even breaks the high of day VWAP a second time. Buyers are back in control. Let's go continue trend. It's been nothing but higher highs and higher lows today. If trend wants to continue bullish, this is going to be a great price off of a key level, but it just doesn't follow through because the trend wasn't actually maybe as bullish as we thought. You can see the left side here. When we are buying it, we are actually above that 15-minute daily VWAP in black and even the start of week VWAP in yellow. So we do have some VWAP alignment for these longs, but I guess it wasn't trending the entire overnight into the previous day on a Monday that it's super strong bullish. It does come higher in the afternoon though, so we weren't wrong in the direction. We were just a little bit early as it wanted to stop everyone out and slowly work its way back higher in the afternoon. But regardless, we have to be involved in this move because if it were to move higher without us, looking like this, what would be my excuse for not longing it? It's holding above New York. It's a break of high a day. I have a clear stop loss structure place here at this news wick here that couldn't shake us out. And we're even above the VWAPs on the 15-minute. There's even another play right after that to trade the second bounce off of New York, and it breaks the high day VWAP again. Now again, if trend continued, a big if, as all trades are, if trend were to continue, this would have looked like a really nice long opportunity off of a key level. The structure is still holding bullish. Buyers are in control. They just disappeared. So there's nothing we could do about that. It's a clean long. We got to be involved in that. And this is just another example of how we could have maybe longed it prior to those setups. If you did long it inside the opening range, maybe back here. We have the ICT opening retracement or that midnight price level here where we opened up at midnight, 0-0 on TradingView. If you look at Edgeful, you can see we opened below it on this day. So when we open below it of this size, I have it filtered based off of size. You can go by weekday, by standard. Of size, 73% of the time when we open below it of this distance, we probably want to retrace back up and engage with that price. So the fact that we're below it and we're seeing this hold in New York and consolidate here, you could have wanted to find longs up to that midnight price, right? And then notice how all the longs we were taking in there and even in there were right off of that level and couldn't really break above it, even over my head here too. It traded to that price, but couldn't really break through and continue through it, but that's fine because that report is telling you it probably wants to go to at least there. But let's get back to the open range strategy here. As you can see, this is not the one from this week. This is just a textbook example of what to do and how to read it, of not chasing the first break here in red because they often don't run. And it doesn't run, but it pulls back. Buyers defend it super well. They put in a higher low, and now they're breaking outside the open range high a second time, and they're breaking the high day VWAP, exactly like we just went over previously. That one runs really nicely, and trend continues. The reason I also say trend continues is because if you look at the left side, we are trending upwards in terms of we're above this overnight VWAP, painting really nice higher lows. Now we are trading into a couple of VWAPs above us of start of week and previous days in New York, but we're trading level to level. Since today, since the overnight, buyers have been in control above this overnight VWAP. I want to be a buyer, and I'm buying it off the New York VWAP and opening range high. But that's just an old markup just to explain the strategy a little bit more. And again, I go over all this on AceFX TV, and I also trade these strategies live every day on there. And you get access to the course as well as the live stream, so make sure you check that out down below. Let's go to the rest of the setups this week of the opening range strategy. So this one's a little bit different in terms of, you can see there's no break of the opening range yet, but it is clearly a bullish open in line with the 15-minute on the left side. And you're kind of trading on this idea, the first break of open range high, which I just said I don't like, which is exactly why I didn't take this idea, because when you're getting into profit here, that's your first break of open range high. If I don't want to buy that because that often doesn't run, well, then I probably would want to get out of this trade, no? Right? It's fortunate that it did run, but it doesn't mean that would have been the right thing to do, right? So it was a clean opportunity off of New York in line with the 15-minute. Could have just been a little bit better in terms of we had already broken the open range, all these different things. This is on another day, the very next day. Going back to my point, the opening range strategy, the first break doesn't run very far, if at all. So we don't chase that, but we also don't just chase the shorts, get induced by this slight break or hold of New York. That's the pivot point of where we want to see who takes control. Do buyers defend it like they have been all morning, or do sellers want to step back in and send us lower? And you can see buyers defend it really nicely. Okay, nice. I'll take the second break outside this open range high. Same level you wanted to buy it back here, but you know you don't want to chase the first break. So you're taking the second break. Same price level, just 15 minutes of patience, and that's the one that pays you stress-free, a nice bigger move, and all with the same idea in mind of stop loss at low of day, just riding the structure and following the trend, right? If we go back to this idea of the losing one we had this week, the only real difference is this one's coming above the opening range, right? How the entry isn't at this open range high level, but that's fine. I've made plenty of videos about it, as well as my best entries almost come outside of the opening range, similar to how this idea, you're exiting the opening range a second time. That's great. This one, we are outside of it, that even if you played a bounce play over here, right, not going off of the break of high a day, if you somehow sniped that bounce, you definitely could make money in those first 5 minutes. But playing the break, which is what we're going over here in this video, it doesn't follow through for your full 1R, so it's technically not a nice winner, but you could have made money on it if you had a fast exit on it, somehow knowing that was going to be at the top. But I just wanted you guys to see that there's going to be losers, and you just have to rely on your confidence, your back testing, also you're doing your markups, that I know I need to be in this every time. So when it loses, I don't freak out, I don't panic, I don't question why I took the setup. It looks just like all these other trades that I take, that I've also seen the winners, I've seen the losers. If I just keep taking this setup, it's going to pay me more times than not. That's all I need to hear, because it's just about playing probabilities over the long term. This is just one of 100 trades that happen to lose, but I'll take another 200 that are also probably going to win. So if you just stay consistent with the entry criteria, then a loss should be controlled. It should be managed of not over risk, not too big of a stop loss, and you just show up and do it again tomorrow, and you'll probably find yourself on the right side, as long as you follow these key variables in all of these setups, right? So like I said, if you go over here to AceFX TV, I teach this full strategy, and I go over chapter 1 through 16 of entry, exit, sizing, stop loss, payout, all that good stuff. And you'll get access to it, and then you can learn it, and then come over to the live streams and then trade them live in real time and take these setups with us, ask questions about the strategies, whatever the case may be, right? So if you guys found value in it, hope you guys love trading the open range as much as I do. I know a lot of you are looking at it, playing off of this New York VWAP, because I think it is one of the most powerful ones that we have and that we use. I know sometimes there's a lot of colors on here of like a start of week, a high of day, a New York, previous days, all these different things. But if we could just play off of these key levels of opening range high, New York VWAP in the direction of trend, you can make a lot of money following simple set of rules, right? It's not very overly complicated. I make these silly little markups with the colors to make it extra clear of here's step 1. That's telling you probably want to be long biased today, but don't chase it. Also, don't chase the shorts. See if buyers defend it. If they do, in this example, then long it on the second break, because there are examples where buyers don't defend this. They just slice right back down and sellers took back control. Okay, good thing we didn't just jump into the longs, right? So there's like 3 steps to it. If you could stay patient, maybe adding the 15-minute in there as well. I hope you guys found value in it. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. Make sure you guys grab some top 1 accounts while they're on sale with my code. You'll always get the best deal. But that was this week's trading with the opening range. Really just keeping it simple. There was also high day VWAP breaks after this in the afternoon. I also made a video on that, so definitely go check those out. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow morning.